suspension, you have to check the bottom bolts marked on both sides, making sure the springs haven't moved, the rings are still aligned. Then you remove the SealSaver. You inspect both the spring so that the spring is not broken and the insert. There should be no oil leak, no damage of the seal at the bottom. Inspect the top hat. If everything is clean, if there is some dirt, just take paper and clean it up. The SealSavers need to be inspected also for rip and tears. There will be some wear from the springs rubbing, but it shouldn't have any holes through. Clean them up if they need to be cleaned up. Put them back in place. So in the front, I start from the top. I work my way down. The SealSaver logo on the front strut should be facing you, which means the Velcro is in the back. Okay, and we want the top to be covered. It won't go all the way to the bottom, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Rest of the suspension inspection, you have to inspect the tie rod here. The caisson didn't move. Sway bar endlinks, the two bolts are marked here. Control arm bolts on both sides, it's marked. Control arm here, the two bolts, there is one in the back that you can see from underneath, and here the ball joint. There is a bottom nut. The bottom nut that retains the insert on the strut body. We have to make sure this didn't get loose. Inspection of the top. There are the top hat bolts, 3 of them. Make sure they are still marked with the paint. You can check the upper reservoir, no leaks. You can remove the sock on this one to inspect it. Back in place, no damage, no leak. Same thing on the other side. Here we store the reservoir down here, and here make sure you check the 3 bolts. Inspection of the suspension in the rear, same thing, we make sure the rings haven't moved. Upper and lower bolt. The nuts are marked also on the inside, make sure nothing has moved. There is the lateral link bolt here. The nut is here. The bolt is on the other side here. Make sure also at the bottom here, bolt for the trailing arm is secure. Here there is paint here. Then you have sway bar and links. And here, rotor here, CV axle, sorry, and then the 2 bolts of the lateral link on the inside also marked with paint. And we also check that the lateral links were not damaged. Then you have to inspect the bottom nut on the strut to make sure it didn't loosen from the insert. Then you can remove the SealSaver. And same thing, we inspect the spring, we inspect the insert, clean up anything that could have been gotten here. Then we inspect the SealSaver itself. We clean it up if it needs to be cleaned up. Put the SealSaver back in place, starting from the top. And working our way towards the bottom. We are done tightening, we turn the SealSaver, and in the rear the Velcro has to be towards the back, so the SealSaver logo will be towards the front of the car. Rear suspension, remote reservoir here, the adjusters are here. We inspect for leaks at the connection on the hose, and otherwise the 3 bolts and their paint marks, making sure they didn't get loose.